year. The key question with Larry Bird, they were in a hard cap in the NBA. And when you look at this and bringing it back home, Adam Silver, Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, Brianna Stewart, who are the superstars of the WNBA, but especially for Caitlin because she has such brand marketing deals, probably averaging $30 to $50 million a year. The Bird rights gives a team an opportunity to re-sign its best player and not be restricted by the cap.
Larry Bird never says anything unless he truly means to. A Hall of Famer, a three-time NBA champion, the man who turned trash talk into an art form and whose icy stare could silence entire stadiums, Bird has all but disappeared amid the non-stop noise of criticism. A living legend who hardly ever speaks in public, let alone shows his face. But in one incredible moment, everything changed. Changed because Larry Bird walked up to Caitlin Clark on live air 2 minutes ago, took the microphone straight from her hand and delivered a statement that rocked the sports world. And Caitlin Clark's response? Before we continue, a small favor. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you enjoy the content. It may surprise you to learn that nearly 83% of viewers still haven't subscribed. It only takes a second, and it's completely free. But it truly means a lot to us. Have you already subscribed? Fantastic. I sincerely appreciate your support. Now let's get back to the video.
Put an understanding out because with Caitlin and what the players and the collective bargaining agreement are negotiating, folks, I'm wondering if it's the best fit for the top players of the WNBA. CBA agreements, the collective bargaining agreement is coming up. They're going to have an intense meeting for All-Star Weekend. And I wanted to bring this up for Caitlin Clark and the Larry Bird rights rule. And we'll start from a revenue perspective as Caitlin leads the league in revenue. Where am I going with this? It wouldn't make sense to have a contract for Caitlin Clark.
Leave it, you have to see it. Let's go back for a moment. The interview was supposed to be a routine one. Clark had just taken over for Indiana with 28 points, 10 assists, and a dagger three-pointer that sent the home crowd into a frenzy. The Fever had pulled off a gritty comeback win. The post-game interviewer praised her leadership and asked about her chemistry with teammates, and everything seemed to be unfolding as usual until the crowd started roaring louder than it had all night. Larry came out of the tunnel. Bird, the myth, the Indiana legend whose name is etched into basketball history, locked in on Caitlin Clark as he walked straight toward the broadcast table. She didn't notice at first. As always, she was gracious, smiling, and answering questions. But then the interviewer stopped mid-sentence. The crowd was on its feet and the cameras pulled wide. Caitlin turned and saw him. She froze, not out of fear, out of disbelief. Larry Bird, the man who never makes public appearances, was walking directly toward her. The energy changed. Everyone felt it. What happened next wasn't planned or rehearsed. It was raw. It was real. Larry stepped forward, gently took the microphone from Clark's hand and turned toward the camera. What he said next stunned everyone. "For about 4 years, I've been watching for a long time," he said in a deep, steady voice, "and I've never seen anything like this. She's the real deal. I'm not going to sit quietly while the toughest player I've seen since the 1980s gets torn down by people who don't understand what they're watching." Gasping. Music. After a moment of complete silence, the crowd exploded. Bird wasn't just praising her performance. He was issuing a warning, mounting a defense, and making a statement. He was stepping into the fire, not for himself, but for Caitlin Clark, the rookie who kept showing up despite being booed, hacked, questioned, and dismissed. Never backing down, game after game. Clark's reaction, her face said it all. She shook her head. Her lips trembled. Then Caitlin Clark began to cry for the first time on live television. Not because she was overwhelmed, not because she was weak, but because someone who defined Indiana basketball and understands the burden of greatness had just passed her the torch. Bird wasn't done. He added, "She doesn't need protection, but she absolutely deserves respect. And if you can't give that to her, then you're not watching the game. You're just watching your own fears rise to the surface, without corporate spin or softening." Then he handed the microphone back with the sharp, spontaneous vintage Larry Bird edge only he could deliver. Clark wiped her eyes, and the interviewer, stunned, simply stepped aside. In that moment, the old and the new collided in a way that felt bigger than basketball because there was no marketing pitch, no logo, and no script. The truth is, Caitlin Clark has faced more pressure than any rookie in WNBA history the moment she stepped onto the floor. Every move she made on the court was dissected. Every comment she made was replayed. Every foul against her was ignored. And every foul she committed became a headline. While being dragged through the chaos of the league's past, she somehow became the face of its future. And still, she never broke. Larry Bird saw that, and he respected it, unlike so many in the media. Because Bird knows exactly what it feels like to be hated for being great, to walk into hostile arenas and silence crowds that came to tear you down, to have your confidence twisted and mistaken for arrogance. In Caitlin, he saw a kindred spirit, not just a star. A basketball player who plays to win, speaks her mind, and refuses to play the game the right way just to make other people comfortable, privileged, or too loud, depending on who's talking, and suggested that she's stealing the spotlight. But Bird doesn't care about any of that. He cares about hoopers. And Caitlin Clark is a hooper. Bird's message was crystal clear. She belongs. She's one of us. And if you still can't see that, then you simply don't understand the game. After the segment, social media exploded. Within minutes, Larry and Caitlin were trending. Former NBA players chimed in. Legends posted their support. One post read, "Bird doesn't speak for clout. She's the truth. If that's what he said, that means everything." Another said, "The WNBA is growing right now. Wake up." Even people who had spent weeks taking shots at Clark suddenly hesitated because when Larry Legend speaks, you stop and you listen. The league responded almost immediately. Within hours, the WNBA posted the full footage of the moment across every platform. No edits, no cuts. By the next morning, it had topped 20 million views. Sponsors started calling. The Fever sold out their next 5 home games. Nike unveiled an exclusive Legend X rookie crossover campaign. The limited shirt featuring Bird's signature and Clark's number sold out online in just 4 minutes. But more importantly, the tone changed. Analysts stopped nitpicking and commentators stopped taking cheap shots. Even Clark's harshest critics softened because Bird had made hating her feel out of style. Caitlin Clark didn't have to fire back. Larry Bird did it for her, and his words carried the weight of decades. Because this wasn't just a viral clip. It was a truth bomb, a statement, a shift. Bird had said, "Let the kid play," putting words to what millions were already thinking. Stop acting like excellence is a crime and let her thrive. And Clark looked different for the rest of the game. Her smile returned, lighter and freer. She poured in 14 points in the fourth quarter alone, playing with fire and joy. In the locker room, reporters asked her about Bird's surprise appearance. Her answer, "I didn't expect it." Her voice shook as she added, "But if Larry Bird believes I belong, then I'm done doubting myself." That line deserves to be tattooed. Caitlin Clark isn't just breaking records, she's breaking barriers. She isn't asking for special treatment, she's asking for fairness. And now, finally, someone with enough gravity to make the world stop and listen gave her what she has always deserved, respect. Bird didn't script that moment, but it will be remembered as one of the most powerful cross-generational handoffs ever seen in sports. Because it wasn't just Larry Bird defending a young player, it was Larry Bird defending the future of the game. And Caitlin Clark? She's carrying it forward with both hands. If you believe in legends recognizing legends, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you value the raw power of truth. Get a dime. We'll see you in the next one.